Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vastatya Deshatarini. So just as one worships the sun by offering a ghee lamp, today I'll try to glorify His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, by relating some of his pastimes here in New York City. So in November 1973, I was 18 years old, and I was visiting the Brooklyn Temple at 439 Henry Street with the intention of joining. I had Srila Prabhupada's literatures for about 3 years, and I had become a vegetarian when I was 16. But I just started to visit the temple, and then I found out that it was against the Brooklyn Temple policy for you to move into the temple, because so many people were trying to join at that time, that the policy was you had to come every day, all day. If you live in New York City, from Mangalarti till the end of the evening program.
For a month.
For 1 month. One of the managers is present.
I was Sankirtan leader, right?
I lived on Long Island, and about 40 miles away, so I was given a little leeway. I could come by greeting the deities at 7 a.m. So I began to do that, and very quickly, at that time, we had a fanatical brahmachari, Sankirtan book distribution leader, Prabhupada Das Brahmachari. And he took some interest in me because I had a car. And I compliment him because he was fanatical to increase even 10 books a day, 20 books a day. So I quickly became the driver of a big book distribution party. Drishtaketu Prabhu, his wife, Bhakta Mark, and myself, and we would go to malls in New Jersey, and we would sell not the little Krishna books like you have today. We had real Krishna books, so we were selling, and we were reasonably successful. So after about a week, evening hot milk prasadam, Prabhupada Maharaj called me into the Sankirtan office, which there was no desk. It was just cases of books, places to count Lakshmi. That was about all there really was in the Sankirtan. Anyway, he called me in at night. He said, I have very good news. He said, your spiritual master is coming in 3 days. So I want you to go home tonight and get your things and bring them in the morning. So I thought for a second. I knew the rules. I said, you mean I'm bring enough things I could stay for the 3 or 4 days that Srila Prabhupada will be there? He said, no. After tonight, you're never going home again. So the next day, I had a little experience painting houses for money. I started painting Srila Prabhupada's quarters for 3 days. I haven't heard myself. I've heard it reported that Srila Prabhupada later said that even though I've traveled around the world, wherever I go, I smell fresh paint. The day that Prabhupada arrived, the temple population, maybe there was about 80 devotees, it suddenly doubled or tripled. It was the excitement. Devotees had driven from all around the Northeast, Canada, Ohio, van loads of devotees, and so I had my car, and I had to bring a big carload of devotees to JFK. So on the way, the muffler fell down, was hanging and sparking on the road, and I mentioned to Tirthapad Prabhu, who was a senior devotee in the car, I said, listen, we have to pull over, this could be like a fire or an explosion. Some devotees are very upset. No, you have to keep driving. We have to see Srila Prabhupada. So I pulled off, and Tirthapad Prabhu, he leaped under that car, feet first, and he kicked that muffler off. So fast. I was shocked. I mean, I've been living in the temple just a few days. He said, Prabhu, start driving. We have to see Srila Prabhupada. He said, and don't worry about your car. Everything is purified on the way to Krishna. So we got in the car. We went to the International Arrivals building. At that time, there was a big common area. And when the people come out of the flights, they come on the second floor and they come down an escalator. And there were at least 100 devotees there. A rip-roaring kirtan started. And, this was so new. No one in charge knew what to do. They just watched this big kirtan. And there were TV cameras there. So TV stations had come to cover Srila Prabhupada because we were a little newsworthy in the sense that the idea was out there that we were brainwashing young people to become devotees of Lord Krishna. So when Srila Prabhupada came out, he came down this big escalator. And as soon as I saw Srila Prabhupada, I saw that he was glowing. I saw that he had an effulgence. And immediately my mind was overwhelmed to see what was happening here. So Srila Prabhupada came down the escalator right to the heart of where all the devotees were and the TV cameras. And there was a very handsome young TV reporter there, and he began to interview Srila Prabhupada. So he asked Srila Prabhupada, our viewers want to know how you have convinced so many young people to give up their families, give up their previous lives, and join your movement. Srila Prabhupada replied, so many young people have joined our movement because previously they were simply swimming in an ocean of nescience. This was, that reporter was stunned. He suddenly couldn't speak. He didn't know what to say. He had to take the position to inquire humbly from Srila Prabhupada what was Srila Prabhupada saying. So Prabhupada began to very lovingly, expertly explain that we're not the body. And no matter what arrangement we make here within the material world, the spirit soul can never become happy. The reporter was astonished and charmed, as anyone who was physically in Prabhupada's presence could tell you. This was an experience like none other. And he was very moved by what Srila Prabhupada was saying. So then Srila Prabhupada said, so, why don't you join us? Again, yeah, he was stammering. He said, I can't. Srila Prabhupada said, and why not? He said, I guess I'm just swimming in an ocean of nescience. At that moment, I was standing next to Radha Ballabha Prabhu, who was the manager of ISKCON Press, which was BBT before there was BBT. He turned to me, he said, he said, did you hear that? Did you hear that? So at that moment, I knew that Srila Prabhupada was the greatest genius, and that I would never leave his lotus feet. So then, Srila Prabhupada began to walk. Gopijana Ballabha Prabhu had arranged a big black limousine. So Srila Prabhupada began to walk towards the limousine, and Prabhupada walked in a very aristocratic manner. And even though I was only 18, I was running. But I couldn't keep up with Srila Prabhupada. It was something absolutely incredible. So Prabhupada got into the limousine. So then immediately there was a big rush. Everyone had to get to their cars. We had to get back to the Brooklyn Temple before Srila Prabhupada got there, because they were to make a big kirtan. So we got back, and already there were 100 devotees there, and it was a massive kirtan outside the building, inside the building, coming up the steps. So Srila Prabhupada arrived, he came up the steps, and the temple room was right by the front door. And if Marge remember, it used to be the Vyasa-Puja with the lotus petals.
Yes.
So,
Nagari.
so Srila Prabhupada came in the temple room, he sat down on the Vyasa-Puja, this big kirtan roaring, and then the kirtan ended. And then Srila Prabhupada looked around, he said, "So, this is not Brooklyn. This is Vaikuntha." Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Abhiram, can you please come next? Abhiram Prabhu, can you please come next? Sit here. This is the camera spot. While we're waiting for Abhiram to come.
You'll have to move away from that.
Oh, okay. Another time when Prabhupada was coming from the airport, the signal was given for everyone, the driver of Prabhupada's car, to take a circuitous route so we could all be at the temple before Prabhupada got there. But Krishna had a different plan, and all the cars took longer to get to the temple than Prabhupada's car. They got there very quickly. And so there was no kirtan at the door, no kirtan in the temple, and Rukmini, who's the good wife of Nuttama Prabhu, was the head pujari at the time, and she had stayed back. She was doing the Nunarti. This was shared later. And Prabhupada came into the temple room, and she's on the raised, it wasn't so high, like a foot taller marble standing place, ringing the bell and offering the article. She didn't know what to do. Should I continue with worshipping Radha Govinda, or should I get off the altar and pay obeisances to Prabhupada and get back on the altar? So she chose the latter. And then later she asked Prabhupada, did I do the right thing? And he said yes. And subsequently, we didn't get there after Prabhupada got there. We did it right, like the first time. Okay, so here's Abhiram Prabhu. You have to adjust the microphone to your convenience.